Eggmas, day 11.
For today's Eggmas, I'm taking on the Scotch egg. Why it's called a Scotch egg, I have no idea, but I'm doing it with chorizo. So it's gonna be chorizo and eggs, basically breakfast. So do you remember the Eggmas where I made the ramen egg? Of course you do. So I start off by setting a timer just like in that video for about 6 minutes. Add some rice wine vinegar to the water. That helps the shells come off a lot easier. Once they're out, put them into an ice bath.
Okay, here's a cool little trick that I like to use when peeling the eggs. I just give it a little tap tap and then roll. And that ensures that it's just cracked all the way around.
So that tap and roll technique has saved me lots of time in the past. I also like to peel them in some water or running water. It helps so much. Also keep in mind, we want to cook these a little less than normal.
Now you could tell by how squishy this is. This is a very soft boiled egg, and these are a little harder to peel, so be very patient with these guys. But this is the way I like my eggs, especially with Scotch eggs. Since I'm gonna fry it, it's gonna heat it up again, so I want it to be very raw. Okay, I've got some beef chorizo here.
Now, whatever protein you decide to use, I used beef chorizo, use a portion scooper just like this or something to portion it out so you get the same amount on every egg. It makes your life so much easier. I also found that oiling up my hands also made it easier to work with the meat and handle it and then wrap the egg in it. So I just did a little roll around the egg and then sealed it as is. You could try to find your own method for this that works best for you, but I found this method to work the best way for myself. I don't really make Scotch eggs. I've made them in the past for a special on a menu, but that's pretty much the extent of it. So this is also an experiment for myself.
All right, I think I've kind of got it. Getting the hang of this. Okay, so I'm gonna coat these guys in Japanese panko breadcrumbs. These are my favorite kinds of breadcrumbs, by the way. So I've got my station here, 3 different containers. I just love how coarse these are. You can see the difference in the eggs that I use.
So the name of the game here is mise en place, everything in its place. I've got the eggs, I've got the flour, and I've got the Japanese honey panko. I like to work left to right because I'm a right-hander and I work left to right. If you're a left-hander, try working right to left. I took these guys out of the fridge. I let them stiffen up for a bit before coating them in the flour. So just like dredging anything, I start with the flour, then I go to the eggs that have been whisked up, and then from there I just drop it into the honey panko. I try to utilize wet hand, dry hand. Remember that, wet hand, dry hand.
That's a big boy right there. Quick tip, I like to keep a dry hand and a wet hand whenever doing stuff like this. Way easier, makes your life way easier, so do that. Also, another thing, I like to put panko down on the surface that they're landing at so they don't stick to the surface. Fry station ready. I have rice oil in here at around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, quick tip. I have my oil at around 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason for that is we gotta remember there's meat in here as well, and there's also that egg. So I want everything to sort of cook and marry together. If I have it too high, the outside's gonna cook before the inside. And we're gonna have raw stuff. Don't want raw stuff. In this case, we don't like it raw.
So all in all, I was really stoked with the way these turned out. I seasoned them with some citric acid and salt, and the inside was delicious.
It's actually really nice, huh? The yolk's like perfect jammy texture. A little coopy. All right, there's our breakfast right there. Chorizo and eggs. All right, here, try this out. You wanna come try this? Cheers. Oh, hot. What do you think? Hot, right?
Yeah, it's really hot.
I actually really like this one, and so did my buddy Chef Shota. Follow him down below. Let me know what I should make for the next Eggmas.
That's good. Smash like, subscribe.